welcome to NCBI Labs.
So you're very welcome to this week's live event. And today we have the usual team with us, Daniel Dunn, JP Corcoran and Sean Dunn, along with myself, Jude Marin. We're joined this week as well by one of our regular guests, Joe Lonergan. Joe is going to be talking to us about a piece of technology that he's been really impressed with, and that's the Chromecast with Google TV device. Now, we've talked briefly about the new Chromecast device, so plenty to talk about. If there are any questions that you'd like answered or technology that you'd like us to cover, or any questions throughout our show today as well, well, you can contact us by emailing us at labs@ncbi.ie, or you can use the Q&A panel on the right-hand side of Teams if you're connecting live.
JP Corcoran here, colleague Joe Lonergan, who is going to tell us about the Chromecast with Google TV streaming device. So we'll be checking out how to use the Chromecast built-in TalkBack screen reader and also the voice emote to access video and audio content from your favorite streaming apps. So Joe, it's
for streaming and from your most popular apps such as Disney Plus and Netflix and YouTube, stuff like that.
And how it's set up, if you don't mind.
Popular device, probably an inch wide, and it, as I said, it plugs in through a HDMI cable into the back of the TV, and you also have a physical plug that plugs into the power socket, and it also has a USB-C connector on it, which I don't personally use because I usually, anytime I connect to it, I use Bluetooth. It has a Google remote control, and I'll describe the remote control as well. So I have the remote control here in front of us. At the top, it has a directional pad up, down, left, and right, with a select button in the middle.
Yeah.
It has a back button just underneath the directional pad. It has the Google Assistant button just across from that. Then underneath the back button is the home key, and then down here underneath the home key is YouTube, and then to the right is Netflix, and the very bottom is the off, turn the device on or off power button, and then to the right of that is the AV button, which I don't need to use either personally, but you might need to use it on older TVs, because when you do connect this to the TV, it kind of takes over. The minute you turn it on, you don't have to, it takes over the HDMI and just starts working.
Yeah. Okay. What about the setup itself, Joe? Is it quite straightforward?
Well, it's straightforward enough. You may need some sighted assistance when you're putting in the Wi-Fi key, but it's similar to setting up a smart speaker, we'll say, for example. So you have to go into the Google Home app and find your device. You can also set it up from the screen on the TV when it pops up.
Yeah.
And you'll have to type in your Google account, so your Gmail address and your password, and it'll find you on that, and then you can link it to your Google Home app on your iPhone or your Android smartphone. Yeah, and the setup, it guides you through setup. It wasn't the easiest setup in the world, but it's not overly difficult either, But it took a while, and I got it set up, and then turned on had TalkBack turned on as I was setting it up. Yeah, so the setup, as I said, I've seen easier setups, but it is manageable.
Okay, great. So Joe, a lot of people who are listening in will be familiar with the original Chromecast from Google. So how does this one differ from the original? Yeah,
well, the original Chromecast was basically just a casting device. So you could all you could do with that one, which was good, is cast from your iPhone or any other smartphone or your browser. Maybe you could cast content from that, but it didn't have the Google TV software built in. Whereas this device has Google TV built in, which is based on Android TV, but it's called Google TV, and that means you can download apps, many different apps, and as well as your popular apps that are built in already. So basically, it's a more advanced streaming device than the Chromecast.
Yeah. And
it's a lot more capabilities. It's like having the operating system of a smartphone built into your Chromecast, if you know what I mean. And it also can turn your TV into a smart TV if you have an older TV,
Okay.
So that's why I think it's a lot more. It's a lot different to the original Chromecast.
Great. Thanks, Joe. With regard to the accessibility features on the device, so how is TalkBack, for example, the screen reader TalkBack enabled and disabled, and how does it work with popular streaming apps like Netflix or YouTube or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus?
Yeah, so I'll demonstrate how it works later on. But to turn it on, you hold down the back button and the directional down key together for 3 seconds. That's to enable it. When you're setting it up first, when you press the back key and the down direction button, it opens accessibility, and when you do it again, it turns on TalkBack. So you might have to do it twice. This is to prevent it coming on accidentally for sighted users that won't need to use TalkBack. And then TalkBack itself works very similar to TalkBack on an Android phone, for example. You know, so it's not as featured driven as TalkBack on an Android phone, but it does work very similar.
And Joe, how about the voice remote? Now we're having a look at this at the moment. So how can the voice remote be used to access video and audio content using the Google Assistant feature?
Yeah, well, I'm going to move to the side here now and let you. We'll have the TV in full view. So I'm going to turn it on now with the on button on the bottom left, and hopefully we'll hear TalkBack speaking in a second. Now, so we're just waiting for this to come on, and hopefully we'll hear TalkBack speaking. Hold on a second now.
Home.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Press select to activate. Home. Showing item 1 of 3. Press select to activate.
So it lands on the home screen, as you can see. So I'm going to arrow down to demonstrate what TalkBack sounds like. And
Marvel's MODOK, new, a supervillain struggles to balance work and family life, in-row feature.
so what comes up is
Press select to activate.
suggested for you, you know, so to suggest some content from different popular platforms. So I'm going to press right arrow and see what else is there.
Queen of Katwe, Timbuktu, Africa Day, drama about a family and a city shattered by violence. Marvel's MODOK, new, a supervillain. Marvel's MODOK.
Marvel's has a new program out, so I'll press select and see will that play.
Resume season 1. Disney Plus.
Murdoch watches fight footage at aliens. 8 million on the hover bikes, 20 million on the laser cannon, 30 million for the airships, and $49.95 for the software that lets me put price tags on video footage. That last thing, let's cut that. Am I good businessman? We need to talk about the
Pause button, out of play button.
I'll do one more thing.
Press select to activate.
With the Google Assistant button, I'll just find something on Disney Plus with the Google Assistant button, and I won't play it for long. Play the line guard on Disney Plus.
Home. YouTube. Disney Plus. Play season 1, episode 1, 2 of 5.
And then you just select
Disney Plus. Pause button, out of list.
I'll just come out of that again. Now, so that's
Disney Plus. Play season 1, episode 1.
Come back out again. Sorry.
Home.
Now we're back to square one, back to the home dashboard.
9 items.
Thanks for that overview there, Joe. What about installing apps from the Google Play Store? Is that possible, like apps like maybe RTE Player or Apple TV or Facebook Messenger?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways of installing apps from the Google Play Store. You can either go to the Google Play Store in your Chrome browser and download the app and direct it to go to your Chromecast with Google TV. You can select the device you want it installed on. That's one way of doing it. The other way is you can go to the Google Play Store by the quickest way I find of doing it is by using the Google Assistant remote. So I can say something like, open the Google Play Store.
Opening Google Play Store.
Play Store. Disney Plus. In list. Press select to activate.
So there's a list of apps you can go here, or you can search for one.
Developer, Disney, category,
Take a minute to go back a bit.
selected, apps, games, apps, search.
Search, there we are.
Showing item 1 of 4. Press select to activate.
So I could press the select key there and search for something by typing in what I was looking for. You can also ask Google Assistant to search for an app on the Google Play Store. So I'm going to try that
Hold
as
the
well.
assistant button down and talk. Play Store,
Hold on.
search, home, YouTube, enroll your app.
Search for
9
Facebook
items.
on the Google Play Store.
Press select to activate.
Here's Facebook on the Google
Play
Play
Store, Facebook, out of row your apps. Image of app or game icon for screenshot, 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 install button out of list.
Install. It took
Press select to activate.
me a second to find the install button there, so I press select on that,
Install it.
and it says
Open. But
it said installing. Now I can actually open it. We're not going to go into Facebook. That's how you find an app easily. You can either use your
enroll
voice.
your apps. 10 items.
You can either
Press select to activate.
Right, let TalkBack stop talking. You can either use the Google Assistant to find an app by asking for the app on Google Play Store, or you can just open the Google Play Store and type it into the search box. And while I'm talking about typing into the search box, I suppose I can move on and mention that you can connect Bluetooth keyboards to this also. So I could hold up a Bluetooth keyboard in front of you. This is a Logitech K380. So you can connect a keyboard like that to this device, and you can type in with the physical keyboard, which would be easier than using the Google remote, because you'd have to pick every letter with the directional buttons, which is not easy, of course. Having a Bluetooth keyboard is also useful when you have to type in email addresses and passwords into certain accounts. We'll say when you're starting off with Disney Plus or Apple TV or things like that. When you're linking those accounts to the Google TV, you will have to put in your details. So it might be a good idea, if you have a Bluetooth keyboard, to link it to the device. And you can navigate the device with the directional buttons on the Bluetooth keyboard also.
So clearly, Joe, there's a lot of new features on the new Chromecast with Google TV versus the original Chromecast, between the voice remote, between having all your apps in one place. Is it a device that you'd recommend to others?
Yes, I definitely recommend this device to others because first of all, it's obviously a lot more advanced device than the original Chromecast. It has the Google TV built in, which basically, if you had an older TV, it turns it into a smart TV. Also, you can download lots of apps we start off with Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, Netflix, YouTube. Netflix and YouTube are already on it. Apple TV Plus, all those kind of apps. Probably RT Player, Virgin TV, all that kind of stuff as well. So that's one of the reasons I'd recommend it. Also, price-wise, it's a lot cheaper than some other devices out there. So it ranges approximately €69 at the moment from the likes of the Google Store. I think it's store.google.com. And the fact that it has a TalkBack built-in screen reader is a big selling point for me.
Excellent.
And also, sorry, before you move on there, for low vision people, there is a high contrast mode on it. I haven't found where you can make the text much bigger, but there is a high contrast mode.
Excellent. So Joe, thanks a lot for that demonstration of the Chromecast for Google TV today. If anyone is interested in trying to get more about this device or has any questions, give us a call on 1850 92 30 60 or send us an email.